You ever look at a really successful company and just assume everything is running perfectly? On the surface, you see this amazing, thriving business. But what's really going on underneath? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one market leader that found its competitive edge, not in some flashy new product, but in the tiny little details they didn't even know they were missing.
So let's meet the subject of our story, Transa Backpacking AG. Look, if you're into hiking or climbing in Switzerland, you definitely know these guys. They're a top outdoor brand, stores all over the country. I mean, they're the picture of success. But, as we're about to find out, even the best in the business can sometimes be, well, flying completely blind when it comes to their own information.
And here it is. This is the core problem, and it's coming straight from the company's CFO, Marcus Scheidegger. What I love about this quote is that it just lays the frustration bare. They know the information is in there, somewhere, buried deep inside their computer systems, but they just can't get to it. I mean, can you imagine trying to navigate a giant ship, but all your maps and your compass are locked in a steel box you can't open? That's exactly the spot Transit was in.
So that brings us to our first section. We're calling this a retailer's data dilemma. And honestly, this is a way more common problem than you'd think. I mean, have you ever seen a business that just seems to be drowning in data, but they have no idea what to do with it? And that really gets to the heart of it. This idea of being data-rich, but information-poor. Think about it. Every single time a customer walks in and buys a jacket, or a water bottle, or a pair of hiking boots, Transia is collecting data. They had tons of it, but without a way to actually understand that data, they were information-poor. All that incredible knowledge about what their customers wanted and how their stores were performing, it was basically invisible.
And here's the kicker. It's not like they were using some outdated, ancient software. Nope, they were on industry-standard systems, Microsoft Dynamics NAV and the LS Retail add-on. The problem wasn't the tools themselves. The problem was that the data was stuck. It was trapped in these different silos. This made it pretty much impossible to get one clear picture of the business. Just like the CFO said, the info just wasn't at their fingertips.
Okay, so we've got the problem down. A super successful company that's kind of flying blind. So that leads us right into the next part of the story, the hunt for the key. The key that would finally unlock all that hidden information and let them see what was really going on.
And the solution, it turns out, was surprisingly simple. They didn't have to tear out their entire system and start from scratch. Nope, they just needed the right key, a specialized tool that was built for one thing, unlocking the data they already had.
And here it is. This was the key. A solution called BI4 Dynamics for LS Retail. This is the thing that finally bridged the gap for Transa. It connected them to all those valuable insights buried in their own sales data. You can almost think of it like a universal translator, right? It takes all this messy, raw data from different places and turns it into one, single, coherent language that the whole company could finally understand.
Now, the tool they used, it falls under this big kind of corporate-sounding term, business intelligence, or BI. I know, it sounds super complicated, but really it's not. It just means using technology to sift through all your messy data and pull out the important stuff, the actionable information, so you can make smarter decisions for your business. That's really all it is.
And this is my favorite part. This is where it all comes together. We've seen the problem, we've seen the solution, and now let's talk about the payoff. What actually happens when a company like Transa gets its hands on the information it's been missing for so long? Well, the results are an absolute game changer.
I mean, just listen to this quote from the CFO. It's wild. They went from not being able to easily get any useful information to being able to analyze what was happening in their stores down to 15-minute intervals. That's not just a small improvement. That's like going from a blurry, out-of-focus photograph to watching a live 4K video stream of your entire business. The level of clarity is just on another planet.
And with that new clarity, look at all the things they could suddenly do. They could answer all these critical questions. Like, is this weekend's special offer actually working? Or, which color of this new jacket is selling best in Zurich? They could figure out exactly what to stock in which store, manage loss prevention. They could even analyze which shelves inside the store are performing best. This is the incredible power of detail.
So you might be wondering, how does this actually work? Well, let's follow a single sale. A customer buys a backpack at the register. Instantly, that piece of data doesn't just go into some accounting ledger. No, it gets fed into a central hub, what the system calls a sales cube. And here's the most important part. From there, everybody gets to see it. The inventory team, the finance team, the marketing team, they all get access. One single sale suddenly provides useful intelligence for the entire company.
All right, let's wrap this up with our final section. Because what this all comes down to, what the big takeaway is here, is that in a really competitive market, what sets you apart isn't always some huge grand strategy. Sometimes it's about mastering the details. This final quote just says it all, doesn't it? The solution they found wasn't just about making prettier reports, it was about detail. And that detail is what allows Transa to run their business better and, this is the crucial part, to stay at least one step ahead of competitors. And let me tell you, in the world of retail, being even one step ahead is a massive, massive advantage.
And that really brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. The story of Transonia is a fantastic reminder that sometimes our biggest opportunities are hiding in the smallest details. So it makes you wonder, right? In your world, in your business, in your projects, what critical details might you be missing? And what amazing opportunities are just sitting there, waiting for you to find the right key?